Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Convicted Podcast again today. I just want to get a few things out of the way real quick. We just launched the web stores that we are doing now. If you'd like to check out more, go to convictedprinting.com/web store, and that can give you more information. We also just launched that we can print on face cloth masks. If you want to get some of those, we just launched a deal about that. Check out our page for more information on that. We want to be able to bring value to you as much as possible. So if you ever hear something with the podcast that you would like discussed more, let us know, and we would like to add that into the podcast. So with all that being said, I'm really excited for each one of these that we're doing, and I really think they're going to bring a lot of value to a lot of people. So let's check it out.
All right. Hey, guys. How's it going?
What up?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, why don't you tell everybody, where are you at right now?
We're currently at the Crooked Thumb. It's a brewery in Safety Harbor. It's actually one of the only breweries around here.
Safety Harbor,
Yeah.
All right. So if anyone is in
Troubled
Safety
waters.
Harbor area, check out the Crooked Thumb. If I'm in that area, I'll definitely try
I was going to
check it
say,
out.
let us know.
Yes,
If you're ever
that
around
too.
here, we'll stop and grab a beer.
Awesome. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So can you tell everybody a little bit about Art of Defeat? What is your story? How did you guys meet? And what's an interesting experience that you guys had together?
Well, the band pretty much started in the beginning of 2019. Me and my drummer Ryan, before we had a separate project, which was the same genre. Basically, we just had a different name plus different members. Things kind of like didn't work out, but finding Steve, actually our old vocalist, ended up contacting Grady, and then we got a hold of Rufino, our other guitar player, via Craigslist, which is funny.
What?
Yeah,
That's the first time I've heard that
90%
one.
of the bands. You found Ryan on Craigslist too, didn't you?
Yes, actually, yeah.
And then I
And that
actually
was-
found Steve on Craigslist too, like
Really?
years ago.
I haven't heard anyone that I know using Craigslist to find
It's
someone.
kind of weird.
All the musicians I've ever made music with, all from Craigslist.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay,
And
well, I guess
also,
that's a
like,
very
meeting-
viable option then.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets a bad rap, but I've gone on there for music gear, search musicians.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
Advertising
I mean,
stuff.
I've obviously met a lot of people at shows and made friends that way, and met a lot of musicians that way. But to be honest, like when it comes to like actually chasing down someone that wants to start something, a project, like Craigslist always works for me.
Really? Okay. Well, I'll definitely
it's
keep
kinda
that in
weird.
mind if I ever hear someone else that's trying to look for a musician. Like, hey, try Craigslist.
You never
So-
know. Yeah, there's
And
just
I'll
a
tell
page
them
on
to
there
probably
that's-
try to contact you guys and get
Yeah.
some tips on
Yeah.
that. Like, actually, why don't we talk about that? What were some tips? Because there might be some people listening that are trying to start a project and maybe they need to find somebody. Like, what's something that you looked for? With
well,
trying to get a
always
band
like
member?
always be specific about what you want. Like
Yeah, that's a great point.
if you go there, you hit like community, and then there's an option for musicians. Like there's already an option for that, and everything's gonna be set there. But you're gonna find pretty much from like an '80s cover band up until metal.
There's a lot of those in Florida
You'll
on Craigslist.
pretty much find. Yeah, it's rare to see like metal musicians in Craigslist, but you do find them. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just got to be very specific about what you write in the description and what you want to do moving forward. So
So did you post like a wanted ad or did you?
basically,
Okay.
yeah.
I wasn't sure if people posted it up like, hey, this is what I'm looking for, and then you found them, or if you did the other way and have them contact
It was
you.
basically like a wanted ad. Yeah. And,
Okay.
we write down our influences, and with that, we move forward. But yeah.
Okay, so once you got contacted by them, how did you guys go about like, okay, we meet with them, or what did you do to know, like, okay, yeah, we'll be in a band together about this? Did you have a testing period? What did that look like for you?
Well, yeah, obviously we had a testing period. I mean, that's what we usually do all the time. At the time, we were practicing at Ryan's house in St. Pete. When he came through, we probably auditioned him a couple times, to be sure completely, and then we were like, all right, I guess we're stuck with you.
No, the first practice was more of just kind of, and I recommend this a lot.
Yeah, just like
Don't worry so much about the music, worry more about if you vibe well with that person, or
pretty much.
you enjoy them as a person, rather than worrying about the music. Because I think at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. Because like going back to what you said about finding like-minded musicians that want the same thing or have the same goals, being vibing well, or becoming good friends with that person is way more important to begin with than just the music. So
Yeah, it's just
Absolutely.
having a good relationship as a whole. Yeah.
absolutely.
Wait, so you think you actually got to get along with each other to be in a band?
I mean, you don't.
Yes.
Oh, I like how you both have different answers. One said yes, one said no.
It's like,
Yeah.
no, we don't have to. We can hate each other.
Yeah, as long as you have the same goals, I guess.
Well, I mean, sometimes some bands have hated each other. I mean, if you've seen some documentaries
Yeah,
about
that's
bigger
completely
bands and
number.
whatever.
That's completely normal.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Well, how do you? Okay, so I'm guessing, do you guys ever butt heads with each other?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do
Yeah,
you come to resolve something?
just talking it out, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had issues in the past about just like what shows to play, what kind of shows we want to play, scheduling, that kind of thing. But you just have to see it from everybody's perspective.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
just-
we always try to be super transparent and like make sure everybody's on the same page about what we're doing, what we're doing moving forward,
Yeah,
and
just compromise.
yeah, there's never like miscommunication. Like, oh, I did not know we were playing this show, and last minute we have to. No, we're always like making sure that everybody knows what we're doing, and so we're always are honest with each other too as well. Like, never, if something's bothering you, just bring it up. Make sure everybody knows.
What helps you guys keep in contact and stay on the same page with that stuff?
Group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also,
Group chat.
you have like 1,000 different resources at your fingertips. We just set up a
True.
Google Calendar as well. That we
Okay, do you guys share a Google Calendar then?
Google
Did
Calendar.
I just
we
say
share-
Google? I think I said Google.
We
Google.
should start that. Yeah. Compete with
That
Google.
should just be the off-brand for Google.
Yeah, exactly.
Google.
The Google. Did you Google that? Terrible. It's like all baby products.
Oh yeah.
It's like
Awesome.
a dog product too.
Oh yeah, dog product. Yeah, exactly.
Very good. So have you guys been on some tours together?
We haven't yet. We've done back-to-back dates, that kind of thing. Weekend, Saturday.
Like
Sunday.
Weekend Banger and stuff like that?
Yeah. We're planning one, our first one right now in May, late April, early May, which will be like a 5-day run, 4-day, something like that,
4 or 5 day, yeah.
4 or 5 day, just regionally in Florida. So we're excited to announce that soon.
Awesome.
We're probably good now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, are we completely booked with
Yeah.
the? Yeah.
Yeah, we're going on a 4-day run with, Years Off My Life.
Mhm.
We're going on a run with those guys and the band called Rivers that we met
Okay.
when we played a show with them down here in Tampa. Newport Richie, one of those two.
Yes.
And they'll be coming up, and we'll be going here, Tampa, Apopka, and what's the other one?
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and then
Very cool.
we have a date on that Friday as well in Tampa. That's just us with Monuments. So,
Gotcha. Are you guys going to be taking like a van out, or what's your ride situation going to look like?
well, I've got my SUV. Can you still hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's something going on in the background.
Karaoke night, man.
What's that?
I said karaoke night.
Yeah, right.
It's like trivia night.
Trivia
that's what
night.
it is.
Yeah, they just got the
All
windows
right.
open. So yeah, we'll just be taking my SUV out with the trailer hitch and just getting a trailer. So yeah,
Very good. So, if I remember correctly from some of our previous conversation, one of you has had quite a few years of experience in music, if I remember correctly.
I think a lot of us have really.
I'd say Rufino, our lead guitarist, has the most experience. Just because he was in a band called Fit for Rivals that pretty much toured nationally.
Okay.
And he was on the road for a while. I want to say he mentioned that he was on tour with what was that band?
It Prevails, I think.
I Prevail?
It Prevails or I
Or It
Prevail.
Prevails?
One of those two.
Well, there's a big difference between those
Is
two
there?
bands, so
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure which one is.
I think he said I Prevail. Now that you say that.
Back in the day. But anyway, I want to say he's the one that has more experience in
Gotcha.
that. Yeah.
All right. So, question for you guys: why do you guys choose to play music?
You want to go first?
I mean, it's just always been a passion of mine. I started playing music because I'm from Maine originally. And I started playing music in local bands up there when I was like 14, 15 years old, something like that. And I don't know, as soon as I went to my first local show and started playing, it just became a passion of mine, and it's always what I've wanted to do. I've dabbled in pretty much every other aspect of it, from recording, not very well, to booking and like managing that kind of stuff and marketing. So,
Gotcha.
and I don't know. I feel like I just met some of the most people in the music scene that you wouldn't meet anywhere else. And I mean, it goes back to what happened on Saturday. All the people that showed up just to help, rebuild the wall and just play a show. You just meet some great people, and you can't rival that anywhere else.
Definitely. There's something to be said about music community when you find a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, to me, well, I've been in bands since I was 13. Way back when I was living in Ecuador. I'm from South America, Ecuador. So like even there, the metal and like the whole scene in general was pretty big, surprisingly. And I was always involved in the local scene as well down there. So everything like DIY band has always been a big thing to me. Besides going to big acts, supporting big acts, like that. That's also always fun. But like since I've been doing this for so long, like I care so much about it. I'm like, I don't know, but I always like, even if I'm not playing, like I'll go to local shows supporting my friends all the time. I'm always out there, trying to, get out there and, support local scenes all the time. But I mainly do it because how passionate I am about it. It's probably the only thing that really, really like grabs me, like passions me about so much. Besides recording, because I do like recording and producing stuff. That's my other thing. But yeah.
Do you actually do that as a business too?
I'm starting to, yes. Excuse me. I've been trying to work with some locals lately, and because I've been doing it for about 2.5 years already. Like, just producing, recording, mixing and mastering. So hopefully we can, like, soon enough we can like get it running and start like actually like a legitimate business out of it.
Absolutely.
I know. I've been doing all this like freelance, like on my own, and it I still have a lot to learn, but little by little, man. I mean,
every day another step.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep
Technology
trudging
is
along.
really out there.
Was that?
So technology doesn't really help the learning curve because, you know,
Oh, it
once you
does,
buy
yeah.
something, it becomes obsolete, you know, in the first year. You know.
Depending on what you get.
What's that?
Depending on what you get, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So.
And then sometimes you just got to figure out how to milk something to its very end.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you're
Well,
like,
speaking
okay,
of that,
it's-
like that's like speaking of milking something, like we pretty much took our own time to do a record because we were doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's
Which is great.
yeah, it's a good thing to have a producer because there's going to be so much input from somebody that cares and knows so much about too. But also doing that yourself, you can take your own time and having like set times and the pressure, you know, working under pressure that okay, this needs to come out, you know, in a month. We were just taking our time and making the best out of it, you know.
Definitely. That's something I would definitely encourage to anybody else that's out there listening and they're trying to do something like writing their next project, EP, album, whatever, scratch tracks. Like something that we've done with Fourth Teller is that like what you were saying, like David, our vocalist, he's able to record in a lot of what we do so that we can kind of get ideas. We could go, okay, what if we move that to the end of the song? Or what if we switch this around and just copy paste? Like, okay, let's try this and just make it really rough because we're not putting it out. It's not like it's what we're doing in that studio time is not for the public to necessarily hear yet. It's not a finished product. But then like once we feel like we're ready to go with an actual project, that's when, like you were saying, we have a little bit more of a time crunch when it comes to working with a producer. We worked with Austin Coop on our last two albums. The one that we haven't put out yet, and the one that we already put out with Nihilist, and like he's helped a lot because if you get the right person that's able to do the recording with you, like actual production, they could give you some really good input too. So for anyone out there that's considering that, like, yeah, it's great to have your own stuff, but sometimes it is really good to have another head into the room with a little bit different of a perspective because they might really see something that you don't see. And it's going to really completely change how you're writing that.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how we write too, which I think helps a lot. Because like you went back to what you were saying about scratch tracks and things that it's not really for the public, it's for you. That's basically how we write. Marco will just come in with like half a song, like just scratch drums written behind it, just to give us a feel of what's going on with the song, and we'll just bang it out in our practice space. And if we don't like it, we don't like it. We'll retool it and see if we can make it something that we like. But like you said, it's not for the public. It's for us. There's quite a few ideas that we had that never made it to the EP.
True.
Just because we, you know, either didn't fit the EP or we weren't 100% satisfied with them.
Well, you know, the producers' issues to having like 10, 11 unfinished songs and never finishing them. Yeah. Bang.
Yeah, maybe we'll make it on the next
Wait,
one.
unfinished songs? Is that a thing?
Oh, that is definitely a thing.
All the time. Oh, but let's start a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we're excited. We have this new idea.
This one's not heavy enough. Let's just start another one.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I think it was Skogan from the Chariot. Have you guys heard the Chariot? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So I think it was Skogan that said, no song is finished. You kind of just have to let it go. I'm paraphrasing, probably, big time. Yeah. But I think he said something similar to that. It's like, it really is the case, because you can tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak some more and tweak some more. And you're just like, I don't think there's ever a time for a musician that they look at a song and say, it's done. And especially everybody else in the band is feeling the same way.
Yeah.
So sometimes
especially when you're listening to other
that's done.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're listening to bands that inspire you too, it's like you listen to your song and then you're like a month later you're listening to one of their songs. You're like, we should have put something like that in our song. Yeah. But it's like you said, you know,
hey, man,
it is what it is.
Like any musicians, you know, insecurities in their songs. That's completely normal. It happens, you know.
Yeah.
100%. So how often would you guys say you practice?
About twice a week, probably.
Yeah.
If we try to do at least twice a week.
If not, it's once a week, but yeah, it's usually always twice a week.
Yeah.
So how would you encourage those listening that if they're trying to start something up and they're trying to get something going, or they're trying to bring something to their other bandmates, like, hey, we need to do this. How did you guys start with the practice, and how does that work for you guys? The practice schedule specifically.
Oh, the practice schedule. Well, I mean, yeah, that's why we have a chat, and we always, make sure we're all on the same page. We usually do Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
That's our main days.
That's what we've done for a long time.
Yeah. Or if we have a show the next day, we'll try to fit a practice in. But I mean, we're in constant contact with each other on chat. It's very rare that one of us we won't talk at least once a day, even if it's just legit, just making fun of each other on the chat or whatnot. We're always in constant contact. So if anything needs to change, we're pretty good about
also
accommodating everybody's schedule.
Our practice space is very centric for everyone, so
that too.
It's pretty much in the middle, for everybody to be there on time.
Yeah. Everybody's within like 20 minutes.
Everybody's within 20 minutes.
Gotcha.
For me, I'm like
5
10 minutes away,
depending on how the lights work out for you. But yeah, it's at the very least we always get together and do something every week. So for the most part.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to say. Besides practice, I mean, this is a big thing that like Ryan always encouraged. Our drummer Ryan, he always wants to hang out and make sure besides just practicing, we're also hanging out as friends and all that. So we try to always get together on weekends besides practices and all that, just to keep for our own sane,
Yeah.
Well, good. Did you guys end up deciding that because everyone kind of flowed together and it's just a friendship thing, or did you guys kind of like make that decision early on and say, no, we're going to try to build the band culture together and camaraderie? Was that a decision that you made because of the band? I'm just kind of curious about that story.
I want to say because of the band. I mean, we wouldn't have met each other if it wasn't for the band, to be honest.
But I think it was also, there's always a modicum of luck where we just got into a room and we realized that we all vibed really well together and we had similar mindsets and similar personalities. And it just happened that, we all became really good friends.
Yeah.
And if that's not the case for a lot of bands, then you're probably doomed. Because if you're going to be boring and trying to be successful, it's kind of hard to be stuck in a van with somebody for 5 hours that you don't like.
Right.
So
Definitely agree.
Yeah, if you're riding in a bus, that's one thing. But
you got to figure out conflict resolution.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically
another.
A relationship. That's all it is.
It is. Okay, I've also heard that a band is like a marriage. And I think that
big commitment for sure.
It is a big commitment, especially if you're trying to do touring and you're gone for a month at a time together in that van and whatever. Like, you have to figure stuff out. It is kind of like that because of the commitment. And similar because you're saying like you guys have agreed to practice 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And you guys have to make that work within your schedules. So it is a commitment. It's a consistent, hey, we're working on something. Hey, this is our goal. Hey, like, we're moving. You're running it almost as like a business or as
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically, I hate to call it a business because it's more of a passion than anything else, but it really is. I mean, if you want to be sustainable and successful, you have to run it like a business, whether it be, marketing everything the right way, finding the right graphic designer, and then you have to go back and agree on how much money you're going to spend on a certain thing. It has to be a group effort and a group decision to do these things. So yeah, it's pretty much a business.
Absolutely. And that's why it's important, like what you were saying, that apparently Ryan instilled this team building days.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So that's what those are. Absolutely. Yeah. And we've done that too. And almost all of us are married in the band. So we usually try at some point within the year or twice a year or whatever, try to include everybody to hang out. It's really good that our wives all get along with one another. Unfortunately, I've seen other bands where like the girls or the girlfriends would come along, but they didn't talk to each other at all. And I think like we in Fourth Teller are very fortunate that all of our wives do get along and they're friends and like they'll go and hang out by themselves.
Yeah.
So that's super helpful. So I will say to anyone else that's in a band that's trying to start up, don't force your significant other to get along with the others, but it helps when everyone's able to get along, because especially if you have to be a team, especially if you're trying to get married and you're trying to be on the road, like there has to be support systems that are in place. And it was really nice to know that like when we left, like the girls back home were able to still help one another if anything kind of came up.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
It's just something to consider.
Equally as important, honestly. Because it's like if they don't get along, then it's hard to say, "Hey, I'm going over to this person's house to practice." When they don't get along with that person's significant other.
I don't like her. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Well,
why are you going over there?
Cause some tension.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So that's good too, be able to have that conversation with everybody. And I mean, similar to the relationship conversation that we're having now, if you aren't in a relationship with a person that you're trying to date and you want to do the band thing and you want to go on tour, if you're trying to date somebody, that's a good thing to do, is discuss that with them. Like, hey, I'm trying to do this. And that might mean I'm gone for a month at a time. And if we're not making enough money for you to come with us, that might mean you have to stay at home and continue working or whatever. So that's just a good conversation to have across the board. This is like, what's everyone's goal in this, and make sure everyone's taken care of. And and for us is like, what are our wives' goals? Like we got to talk about that too, and to make sure that the band isn't attacking what we're trying to do marriage-wise as well.
Yeah,
it's got to all be like working together. Like, what am I trying to say? There's a word I'm looking for.
Coalesce.
Kind of. I don't know. I'm blanking now. That's great.
Congeal.
Oh man. Cohesion? Is that the word?
Cohesion. There you go. Yeah. Cohesive. Yeah.
Yes, it needs to all be cohesive. Yes, interlocking. There we go. And that might mean more than one thing with what we're talking about. Awesome. So if anyone else is trying to start up with something, what's something that you guys would encourage? Like maybe you guys experienced a really difficult thing and you guys were able to overcome because you finally figured something out. What's something that you would like give to anyone listening?
Be careful who you trust with your art, I think, is my biggest thing that I've learned.
What do you mean by that?
Well, who you're choosing. I know we got lucky with him being so good at what he does, recording and mastering and mixing, that kind of thing. Mixing and mastering, rather. Anything that has to do with your music or your album art or your T-shirt designs or anything like that. Be careful who you trust with that, because not only is it a waste of money, and that can be really detrimental to a band that's just starting up and that's trying to invest money and time and money into it. But also it kind of, it kills your momentum a little bit.
By that he means because we had a bad experience with the designer for our album cover.
Yeah.
Not with the out, but previously trying to put out our stuff, the person that we were working with at first, we were having a lot of issues with him because of, I guess, miscommunication and just lack of
we just couldn't do what we wanted him to do. And our old vocalist Steve was sending him all these ideas and like kind of trying to lay out what exactly we wanted. And he just kept sending back these mock-ups or whatever you want to call them.
They were really, really bad.
They were bad, yeah. And Steve had already paid him, and it was just
he wouldn't want to give us a refund, but even though he did say it was like 100% refundable if we did not like the art or.
Oh no, that's not good.
Well, that was our own. That would be the only thing, like by personal experience, that I would say. Just be careful, pick, be picky about who wants to do art for you,
Yeah.
We've never had an issue with merch. Convicted, it's always been on top.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah. And obviously production and recording and all that. That's always been fine. We've been doing it ourselves.
So I think it's important, something that you said when you said be picky about who you choose to work with your art. That is a good point, but I think there's something else that we need to say alongside of that. If you're going to be picky, be ready to open your wallet.
Yeah,
as well.
for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Because I've seen some people try to be extremely picky and find a really niche thing that a person is doing. And usually when you go further into the niche, it's a little bit more expensive because they're very specialized in that type of artwork and it stands out. And it's important to be able to, like, they're trying to do their art just like you're trying to do your art. It's just a little bit different. And it doesn't matter if it takes them only a few minutes to necessarily put it together if it's what you need, because maybe they took all that time to train themselves on how to do it quickly and whatever. So like always be willing to pay the person whatever they might need to be able to get that done. We've had one time, alongside what you were saying about you said someone did a really bad job with our work. We didn't have someone that did a bad job with our work, but we had someone that what they ended up producing for us just didn't really match what we were trying to do. So we kind of just like put a halt on, like we were going to get like a few different designs with them. And once we realized like, okay, it's not necessarily matching what we wanted, we went ahead and just said, all right, we're going to pay you for what you made already, like the one design or the two designs or whatever they made. And we did that. And then we just stopped there and just said, it's just not matching up. And it wasn't bridge burning.
Right.
And it's also important not to burn bridges.
Exactly.
Because
you never know who you're going to come across later on that you might need something from. Yeah. So.
Right. And something that Thomas and I were talking about on either the Bradham or the Secret Keeper podcast was just how small the music industry can be sometimes.
Yeah.
That person might know someone who might know someone, and now you're blacklisted from something because you treated someone with like crap. Like, don't do it. Be considerate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, treat others how you want to be treated. Like, do you want others to treat you the way that you are talking to that person? If not, don't do it. If yes, okay. That's fine.
No, we always try to be, we've had situations where we've had to drop shows and that kind of thing. It's the way you do it, obviously. If you have somebody that's sick or you have to drop, a week in advance, just, it sucks, but it's easy. It becomes way easier when you're actually respectful to that person and tell them, hey, I understand that this is last minute or we're dropping a show that we said we'd play, but it's really not doable for us and we really apologize. So.
And always trying to make it up,
exactly.
If there's something we can do to make it up for you, like let us know or whatever. And you might not be able to, and they might not think of something, but you can just offer,
Exactly.
Like
usually because I do all the booking and everything too. And if we have to drop a show as a rare occurrence, usually I'll be like, hey, I know that this sucks, but if you need me to help you find another band to fill our spot, we'll certainly do that. Because, there's never short bands around here that want to play shows.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, that's what blows my mind, how this scene is so big in Tampa.
Yeah.
So many local bands starting up, it's crazy.
It's good. It's awesome.
Like we have
Absolutely.
you guys put out fests at the Noise Box
every
every few months because there's so much talent out there. There's so many wanting to play. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Loving it. I'm glad to see I'm glad to see that there's newer faces coming in too.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you don't see new faces, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, exactly. It means something's slowing down. But
you got to encourage others to keep stepping up into the music realm that we're in.
Absolutely. So keep it going.
All right. Well, I think that's about it for our time right now. But I really appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day to meet up and have this podcast with me. And I
definitely,
really
man. Thanks for
having
having
the
us.
conversation that we had. I really think that's going to help some people. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, whatever we can do to help. Just if you want to hit us up, via Facebook or email or whatnot, just let us know, and we can help answer questions that way too.
Definitely. What is your Instagram and Facebook handle and all that stuff for people to find you?
It's on Facebook.
I think it's AODFL. Or if you just search Art of Defeat,
Actually,
you'll find
yeah,
us, too.
my bad. Instagram is AOD Florida FL, AODFL, yes. And Facebook, you just type in Art of Defeat.
Yeah, and
that's
you
all,
can find us. Yeah.
All right.
So.
That sounds awesome. Well, thanks again, guys. And if anyone else needs to figure out what's going on in the music scene, or if they need to find Art of Defeat, just use Gugu.com.
There you go.
Google,
Yeah.
there you go.
Just
You laugh
Google it.
now, but you're going to see that website pop up tomorrow. I'm going to
Oh
create it.
no! I
Yeah.
hope someone doesn't make like a silly.
It'll be a
graphic about
wish.
it.
It'll be a wish.com ad. Google.com.
Oh, not Wish again. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The stuff that they put out is just.
Man thugs.
All right, we're digressing. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Have
All
a
right,
great
All
night.
right, have a good one, man.
All right,
Thanks.
bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Again, if you guys enjoyed this podcast, please let us know. Give us some feedback, write a review, message us something. Let us know what's helping you. Or if there's some other topic you'd like to discuss, please let us know, because we would like to add that into the podcast with our discussions to be able to help you as much as possible in being in a band, becoming more professional with that and everything. Also, huge shout out to Vradom for sponsoring us still. Please check them out. They have some awesome drum shoes and other merchandise for other musicians. And we also just launched, just so you know, another web store application. So that way it's a really quick and easy process to be able to get you, if you have a logo ready to go, we can just quick put it on some shirts, make a web store for you to be able to sell to your friends and family and other fans. And that way, hopefully everything can help move things forward during this time of uncertainty. So yes, please let us know if everything was good. Thank you guys for listening. We love you guys, and we'll catch you next time.